All right, aloha. Yes. It's humbling to stand before you. Thank you for the opportunity. And, man, I'm excited. Who's excited in here today? All right. Yeah, as my wealth mentor, Mr. Kevin Mack, would say, good things happen when you get excited in life. Think about it this way. If our parents didn't get excited, we all wouldn't be here today, okay? So I say that to get over my nervousness because I'm afraid right now. But thank you. It's an honor to stand before you. My name is DannyKatoa. I got started in the business a few short years ago. I was a school counselor and a broke professional athlete prior to getting involved in prepaid legal services. I hail from the state of Hawaii, and my first ever job after pursuing a career in professional football was a school counselor. I got paid $780 after Uncle Sam, Auntie FICA, and all of them took their fair share. I took home $780, and you and I both know $780 is not a lot of money to live on today. Matter of fact, I could eat about $780 worth of food. And that's on a daily basis, okay? So, y'all so bad. Y'all so bad. But it didn't take a rocket science to figure out that if I wanted something different, I had to start doing something different. The only challenge was I didn't know what difference looked like. Most of my family and friends, aunties and uncles were working 2 to 3 jobs in the state of Hawaii. So I started to look, and a gentleman from Maryland, D.C. introduced me to the opportunity. His name is Robert Peterson. I pray for that gentleman every day. He no longer is active in the opportunity, but he did one incredible thing that I pray for him every day because he's forever changed the Katoa legacy for a lifetime, okay? And he said, I don't know it all, but I know some people that knows it all. So he connected me to them, and man, it's been amazing because they've been able to pour into my life, and life has never been the same. So when I got started in this opportunity in Hawaii, I could count in one hand how many people who are actively writing membership in Hawaii, and it was about 4 people actively. And I got started. I was ignorance on fire in the opportunity, and a gentleman, my mentor, Mr. Mack, said, hey, Dean, you have to get here to the big event. And I came to a big event about 7.5 years ago, literally changed my world upside down in a good way. Many speakers has come before me, and they say almost the same thing. You can't come to an environment like this and go back and be the same person. Well, that's where I was. I was sitting back there, and I was like, man, this is amazing. I could really relate. Went to a breakout session. Everything happened, changed for me. It just transferred from my head into my heart. And hopefully today I could display to you everything that went through my journey, because it wasn't easy. It wasn't it wasn't easy. It was simple, but it was a process, and every process you have to go through it in order to get through where you need to go. And so I came to this big event. I made a decision to change my life. I went back to Hawaii. It's easy to make decisions when you're here in front of everybody else. But on that plane ride home, I was like, whoa, I'm going to be by myself. I'm going to face reality. So when I got back home, I started to do my business. I went ignorance on fire. That's what Mr. Mack told me. He said, Danny, just go out there, do your thing. Don't worry. I'm going to be here to hold your hand and navigate you through the process. And, I was coachable. I said, okay, that's what you need me to do. I'll do that. He said, okay, well, let's go ahead. It was one briefing in Hawaii. Out of the whole entire state, there was one briefing. And I would go to the briefing regularly, excited, because that's what I was told by my mentors, to take guests, put butts in seats, and, let the speaker do the work for you. And I would do this regularly, but sometimes the briefing wasn't regularly. So it forced me to be in a position to present to my guests when I took him to the briefing. And finally, I made a decision. I said, you know what, I'm going to start my own PBR, or business briefing, if you want to call it that. And that's kind of when the journey started for me. I became into a leadership role. I started my private business reception, did everything my leadership told me to do. Say, do the invite, do the 3-way calls. All of the trainers that come before me have taught you, but nobody wouldn't show up. Mind you, I signed people up. But when I invited him to come over to the PBR, to the business briefing, they would ask me, I said, who's going to be the expert? Who's going to do the speaking? And I was kind of hesitant. I said, well, it's going to be me. They say, you? How you going to do it? You haven't even earned any money yet. As a matter of fact, you borrowed $20 from me yesterday. Yeah. So it was, as Mr. Olson alluded to earlier, it was trials and error, and I just kept showing up. And my first private business reception, it was me and my wife. I utilized my wife. She was a chiropractor at the time, utilized her office to build my business. And, my wife woke up at 6 in the morning, and she was done by 6 in the evening, so she would stay till 7:30. I started the private business reception, so-called briefing. And so she did that for the first week. The second week, I did the same thing again. Didn't even know I was practicing the slight edge at the time. I was doing it. And my wife and me were there at the same time. And the third week, did the same process. Okay, went through the invitation, went to everything. But this time, something significant happened for me. My wife said, baby, I'm not going to stay this time. You're going to have to handle this one on your own because, I'm tired. And there are certain points in your life, in this journey, in this process, your process that you go through, it strengthened you. And that particular part, I remember going through my process, I remember people giving up on me, friends and family mocking, ridiculing me. And the last one that I thought believed in me was my wife. And she walked out on me that day, it crushed me. And, I remember crying in tears on my knees. And, as an ex-athlete, every week, you're either going to prepare to beat the man in front of you down, or he's going to beat you down. And if he beats you down, you go back to the locker room, you work out some more, get better, come back the next week and beat the next guy. You see what I'm saying? So I made a decision. I said, you know what? I'm going to do this business. I'm going to do whatever it takes to show and prove everybody wrong that I could do this business. And it was amazing how things turned out. I kept plugging in. I've never missed an event. I've never missed a team event. I've never missed a big event. I've never missed a business briefing or things of that nature. They told me to be systemic. Look, I did everything my mentors told me to do. I didn't need to question them. They already had what I wanted. I asked questions, but I never questioned. What am I going to question Mr. Self? You understand what I'm saying? So I just did. They told me to jump. I said, how high? Things of that nature. And I just kept showing up. Nobody showed up to the PBR every week. I just kept showing up. I just knew it was going to happen. I kept injecting every information. I came here, kept rebuilding my belief, went back home and kept building. For almost 9 months, 8 months and 3 weeks, not one soul showed up to the room. But I showed up every week. I showed up. Hold up, I ain't got no time for you to clap yet. I showed up, I set up the chairs, I had this video at the time, and I would press power and play, and I would introduce, they say act as if. I literally acted as if, okay? If it was guests, I set up 14 chairs, set up the TV, put the VCR, I would introduce the video, come sit down, I would play team, I would take notes. I did it, I was hungry. I just kept putting all this information into me. And I'm going to make sense to you. I'm going to take you here, but I'm going to make sense to you after this. I'm going to show you the results of what I was sowing into, what kind of seeds I was planting at the time. Every week, I just kept showing up. I kept showing up. Sometimes I lost faith, but it was my association. It was the people around me that kept me going. I remember being in rooms like this and remembering that feeling of feeling like, man, I can do it. I've seen people just like me who's already walked the stage and have done it. I knew it was just a matter of time before it happened to me. I got tired of pressing power and play every week, so I started to transcribe the presentation. I put it down on paper, and if you know me, man, that's a lot of work, okay? It took me a lot of time to do that. I started to put the presentation, learn the presentation. I started to go out there, just trials and error, learning the presentation. About a year, 8 months went by. I came back to a team event in New Orleans, and I remember specifically riding home after that event, telling my sister, I said, man, I got this business. I got it. And I was standing there watching Mr. Self do his thing. And I was like, man, what does he have? As an athlete, that's me. That's just the competitive nature in me. So what does he have that I don't have? And the only thing that I could come to that he had, what I had, was he was serving people. I jumped up in the air. I said, I got this, sis. I got this. My sister was like, sit down, man. You are embarrassing. In front of the whole convention. I said, Mrs. Self, we got to serve people. We ain't serving enough people. That's all I got. I took that home. The same people I had talked to a year and 8 months earlier, I went back to them. It's all the information I was sowing into myself. I talked to them with a whole different posture, a whole different belief level. And it was amazing. I had Mr. and Mrs. Murphy, who are $200,000 income earner today. Yeah. I had talked to them. They were the first person on my list. I took them out to lunch. I was so afraid. I didn't even say a word to them. We ate lunch and I went home. They called me on the phone. That's how bad it was, okay? They called me on the phone and said, what was that thing you were going to show us? I said, don't worry about it. I'll show you later, okay? But a year and 8 months later, I came back. I was ready. I said the right word. I said the right things at the right time. I got out of my own way and my own success. I ushered them through the system. And, man, they believed it in me. They believed it, and it was amazing. I introduced this other gentleman named Mr. H, 4 of us. We built a marketplace, 4 of us. And all we did was say, look, man, all we got to do is bring one more next week. If our life depended on it, just one more guest. And you know what was amazing? Mr. and Mrs. Murphy brought their grandma. Mr. H brought a guest, and I brought my wife again. But we signed the guests up, okay? We signed the guests up. I got to go real fast. I'm almost done. We signed the guests up, and the next week, the same thing. We made a commitment to ourselves. If our life depended on it, so what we got to do, bring one more. I don't care if it's your dog, your grandma, uncle, auntie, somebody. We're going to bring somebody, right? Mrs. Murphy and Mr. Murphy brought a guest. Mr. H brought a guest. Mr. H's guest brought a guest. We apped them all up, okay? Then we took it from there, started doing sit-downs the next day. I said, I'm going to be at this restaurant. You just bring them over there. Mind you, I have no idea what I'm saying is through this presentation. It's just out of excitement and pure posture, okay? And we just built, look, in less than 3 months, we went from 4 people in the room to 250 people in a room. All right? In less than 3 months, in less than 90 days, 4 people. In a marketplace where people say they couldn't be done. Look, I had Millionaire Club members that told me, man, we tried to build over there, but it really never worked out. People in Hawaii kind of different. We just needed examples. That's what my mentors told me. We just needed examples. But I've traveled a lot of places and things of that nature, and people ask me, why did you stay in that room for 9 months? I could have never done it. Why did you show up like that? Well, I hope to display that to you here today. I look pretty good. I hope to display that to you, why there's so much passion. Every time I speak, people ask, well, why you cry all the time? It's such a crybaby. Tiffany Layton. And it's because the passion that's in me about prepaid legal. It's my approach to prepaid legal. It's what this company has done for me and my family. Every time I think about it, it's in here. So it has to come out. What this opportunity has done for me and my family, it's priceless. I can't put it into words, but hopefully in pictures, I can show it to you. Before prepaid, this is my family right here. And my approach to prepaid is like family. So for those of you who know me on the phone, through conversation, even in the hallway, say, hey, good to see you, family. It's always been my approach. I grew up in a third world country, and we didn't have much. But one thing we had was love. It was family. It was a sense of belonging. And this is my younger sister right there, Miss DannyKatoa, sticking her tongue out. For my dad, my brother, this is my grandpa who's no longer with us, my sister, my mom, and me. And it was my older brother's graduation. But this was our second year being in this country, migrating from Tonga, which is a third world country. This is where I grew up. 80% of the homes now you can know why I cry. 80% of the home in the island where I grew up, they lived in shack. That's what you call a grass shack. And I was born and raised in that. We upgraded. And we didn't have a choice to upgrade. A hurricane came by. It wasn't really a hurricane. It was just windy that day. You think I'm joking, but it wiped it out. And the UN had came in, and they were offering aids. Like I say, 80% of the home where I grew up was grass shacks. And this is a UN aid offering that we were part of the benefit. This is a single store. It's like a storage. There's no room inside there. There's no kitchen. And so my siblings and I would live there. That's where I grew up. This is our oven, our kitchen, and it's underground. So I have to start the fire as a 10-year-old in order for my family to eat in the morning, afternoon, dinner. I have to make fire. And if I don't make the fire, we don't eat. It's the reason why I can't understand people when they make excuses here in America. All we have to do is press a button. I just don't understand it. So hopefully through this picture can display to you why I cry. Because I've gone from having to start fires in the rain, in the water, and through hurricanes, to being able to push a button today. That's why I'm so grateful for this opportunity. It's incredible, man. It's priceless. I can't. I mean, well, you know, people ask me, why? Well, why? Why did you stay? I said, what was I going to go back to? I had to stay. What was I going to go back to? I had to go back to a grass shack? Come on, man. Okay. Let's see, can I go back? I think I'm going forward. Okay. Yeah, you don't have to be smart to do this business. This is my first time ever being back in my island since I left in 1984. And I didn't go back to Tonga because, you know, I didn't want to. It's because we could never afford it. In 2005, the year going into 2006, we closed out on our first home because of prepaid legal, and I was able to take my brother and his best friend. We met down in Tonga for the first time. We've upgraded from the house where you saw into that house. And I'm standing in this picture right here. I'm actually in tears because my brother is making fun of me. We didn't have a bathroom. Well, we had a bathroom. It's called an outhouse, and it was way out there. And so as a kid, I never got up to go use the bathroom. I would just go outside the door and use the bathroom right there. I was afraid of the dark. So I'm standing there because it just brought back so much memory. That's my first time ever to get to experience that, and it would have never happened because of prepaid legal services. I got to run through this real quick. This is what you call a tupper cloth. And, you know, we had to, before we could buy clothes, we had to make our own clothing back home. And that's what the gentleman is doing. As you can see the kid, we didn't know what shoes look like. We just ran around. So when when you're eating at night or, you know, complaining about what's not happening, I mean, we didn't have dinner tables to sit on, no forks. This is a special occasion where we get to have plates and things of that nature. It's my first day in America, and it's funny because we came in at night. It's the first day we woke up. It was a Sunday, and I'm shirtless. That's me Yeah, I can't believe I was that skinny at one time. But it's actually me. And it's not because I don't have a shirt on. Didn't have a shirt to wear. I've been wearing the same shirt for 3 days. And my auntie, who's in the middle, is getting ready to take us shopping. I remember that day specifically, vividly, like if it was yesterday. It was, we walked into the store, and everything was like, wow, there's so many clothing. And I looked at the clothes. I was like, man, how much is this? And the lady said, don't worry, just pick them out. And it was actually a Salvation Army store. So it was 10 cents, 25 cents. And my brother and I were just like picking and choosing. We were so excited about, man, we got all this clothes. And it was secondhand clothes, but we were excited about it. It was amazing, an experience. This is me playing football. This picture is so significant for me because this is when I became an American. And at this picture right here, my first year of Pop Warner football, I basically rode the bench for the first year, almost 2 years. It's not because I wasn't talented or gifted. I just couldn't communicate. I didn't understand. I didn't understand English. So when the coach told me to run, I stopped. They told me to block. I was rushing the quarterback. Okay, it was like, man, hit and miss. So it wasn't like I wasn't talented to play. It was just I didn't know what to do, okay? And it's amazing because it put me in an environment where I had to learn to speak English. Imagine this. Imagine going through high school all the way to university and graduating from University of Hawaii. Don't ask me how, okay? Well, play football. You'll graduate too. Let's just keep that between you and I. But just imagine going to school and every other kid is functioning at 100%, but you're functioning at 80 or 70% because you can't really relate. Look, I play Division I football and professional football. I halfly understand what the coaches, the plays and everything that was happening, but I just play with my heart and pure instinct. I just made it up through talent and things of that nature. So I made no excuses in life. With this opportunity that we have, we can't. Man, I got to finish this. This is my why. Before they were even born, I wanted to give them a better life than what I experienced as a child, okay? And the little guy that's in the back, the one in the front is Chemo, and the one in the back, I named him, he's a prepaid legal baby. I named him after Harlan Stonecipher. And, yeah. And this is what this opportunity has allowed me and my wife to experience, is being able to give them a lifestyle that I have never had. And some of the leadership here has been to my home, our house, and we've been able to host them. I've got the greatest friends and family in this room. The things that they have poured into my life is priceless. Look at the smile on their face. Look, we were shooting a photo. I'm going to get in trouble. We were shooting a photo for Success from Home magazine, and the dude that was shooting the photo said, man, your kids have the most photogenic smile that I ever seen in any pictures. I don't know if he was lying to me or not, but I was thinking, I said, man, the only thing I can allude to was they were born at our own home, into our hands. They don't know babysitter. They don't know anything else other than me and my wife being there 24 hours caring for them. Oh, anything else? I got to run here. This is our home here. We're able to invite his friends to come over, barbecue. This is the time and freedom that Prepaid Legal has given us, allow us to travel. This is our beach house in Kona that we go to, get away from everything, just enjoying life. This is my hero. This is the gentleman that made it happen. This guy right here is a man among men. Whew. My dad came here in 1979 with a backpack in his hand. All he wanted was to... He came here in 1979 with a carry-on in his bag. And all he wanted, he had a mission. He was committed. He said, all I want was to give my kids a better life, an outlet. He came here. He worked all the way. Thank you, sir. He worked all the way till 1984, saved every penny, and sent for us, for my siblings and I, to come here. Today, my dad, is bedridden. He's any day he can go. Man, I don't know how to put it into perspective. I don't know how to articulate when one man sacrificed, totally give up his life so somebody can have a better life. And he positioned me and my siblings to have an advantage in life. Prepaid Legal helped this man complete his dream. This Prepaid Legal, this family, Mr. Soulcypher, helped this man complete his dream. I'm telling you, anything is possible. You just have to stick and stay and continue to fail at the impossible instead of living the predictable. Here's the impossible. The impossible is that all of us in this room can't be a billionaire. But what's predicted out of us is to work a 9-to-5 job. What was predicted out of DannyKatoa was to go ahead and be poor, work 4 jobs, just like my dad did, to provide, to make ends meet. That's what was predicted out of me to be. But I would rather fail at the impossible any day than living the predictable. Take care. Take charge. God bless. Aloha.